Gentlemen, good afternoon. Beano here again. Just very quickly decided to take this SC2 Pro, Simucube2 Pro for another test drive. This time I'll use RdAtlanta. It's a pretty technical track. Always puts a wheel through good paces. And combined with that, today I'll take this V8 supercar COTF car of the future version, the Holden, but it's much the same as the Ford, just different skin. But the underpinnings of both cars are exactly the same. Forgive any minor mistakes I may make, or even gross mistakes I may perpetrate during the course of this next few laps. This car is unlike anything else on the service. It requires exceptionally smooth driving. You've got to brake way earlier than with GT3 cars, for example. Steering inputs has to be precise. And as you will with no doubt see, that even oversteering is quite common with this, so you've got to be pretty precise on throttle, on brake application and on steering inputs. I haven't been in this car for 5 years or something. Probably 2 weeks ago and last week I had a few runs at RdAtlanta and Road America with a couple of friends. But that was it. So yeah, it's not an easy thing to drive. I guess my lap times will show me up as well. But the aim is not to be an alien, but just to show what the wheel is capable of. Why I survived the first lap. The button on the bottom left on my wheel, I press every once in a while. It's just a centering button for my Pimax display. For some reason it drifts ever so slightly after a lap or two. Yeah, the track is just 6 or 7 degrees warmer than last week when I tested the setup. So I suspect pretty much that the set is way too loose for this warmer temperature. But it's fun nonetheless. I have to admit, the more I'm driving with this Pro version, the more I actually enjoy it. The slightly heavier armature on the servo, of course, gives a bit more inertia than what we have on the Ultimate, and that bit more inertia is assisting with the natural damping, so you can actually tone down a bit on the electronic damping, but it just feels so nice and smooth. Maybe revise myself from yesterday's video that I have to say I actually enjoy this servo a bit more than the Ultimate at the moment. That can be rectified quite easily with adding a bit of extra weight on the hub on this Ultimate, but this wheel out of the box is phenomenal. And guys buying this as opposed to the Ultimate is not losing out on much, I can promise you that. I have to admit, I don't know how guys like Shane van Gisbergen and Scotty McLaughlin and these V8 supercar drivers like Chaz Mostert and them can drive these things in real life. It is just something else. Now I can also understand why people call the GT3 series gentleman drivers cars. Well, these things are just monsters. I think you need pretty big balls to drive these things in real life, and to drive them in anger even more so. Oops. Just a bit off the racing line there. It doesn't matter which car you drive, coming back to this is always just so much fun and so much of a challenge. You have to be alert and focus every moment on the track. Perhaps I need to do a video with this thing around Mount Panorama as well. That will make for fun. Let's do one more lap. If you guys have never tried this car, buy the thing and give it a go. It takes heaps of time to adjust to it and to settle down, but bloody hell, how much fun. Just be warned that you've got to be early on the brakes and you have to be smooth on the inputs. And guys, there you have it. I just thought I'll bring you a few laps with this Simucube2 Pro before I take it off. Need to do some testing with my bogeyman setup again over the next few weeks, so I'll remount that probably tomorrow or Wednesday. But yeah, just as a quick summary, I know I've talked a lot again already. Coming back to what I mentioned yesterday with the Mercedes video, and to reiterate the point, I get asked a question all the time about the performance of this Pro versus the Ultimate. There's not that much difference between them, and like I said, probably the only difference is the torque and a couple of filters that you have extra on this Ultimate compared to this one. But all in all, the smoothness that you get out of this, the natural damping that you have because of the slightly heavier armature, it just makes for a fantastic experience. And this is pretty similar to the guys that have owned both the small Miche and the large Miche. That is a sort of difference that you get between this and the Ultimate, where the Ultimate would be a similar sort of behavior compared to the small Miche, and then this Sport or the Pro version would be comparable to a larger Miche, so just that bit more natural damping. Of course, it allows you to reduce electronic damping, and you can get very similar behavior out of both wheels. But I have to reiterate, this would be my pick. Really, if you're a sim racer and you're serious about sim racing, you want to have immersion, but not only that, you also want to have control of your car and reliability, not having to struggle in these endurance races with broken hardware. I could recommend that this is the one that you get. Alright guys, I'll catch you a bit later. Have fun, and any questions, as always, iRacing forums, Granite Devices forums, or you can ask here on YouTube as well. I'll catch you all later. Cheers.